Okay. Good evening, everyone, and let me also welcome everyone to this ELO Unsupervised conference. It's my pleasure to present this paper that I want to believe will help us have maybe some interactive moments or maybe a time of discovering a few things maybe which have been kind of at a logging point for all of us. The title of this presentation is Algorithm Translation versus Human Imagination in Electronic Storytelling. I want to talk about how algorithms and human imagination work together in electronic storytelling, as with a focus on English and French translation in Nigerian games and films. The background to this work is on storytelling, electronic storytelling that has to do with games, films, and interactive media. It also has to do with AI tools that now handle translation, dialogue, and subtitles. We'll have examples like AI subtitles for Hollywood films on Netflix and all that, and then also examples of real-time English, that's French localization for mobile games. We know that we are in an era where a game made in Lagos can be played in Dakar the next week. AI translation makes this possible, but speed alone is not enough. We have, as a research problem, we are going to look at the tension between efficiency, that is fast, cheap, multilingual, rich, and meaning, which has to do with culture, tone, and context. For example, AI will translate "he's my guy" to mean "il est mon gars," but humans know better because it's about relationship, it's about emotions and all that. So the human will say "c'est mon pot," bien "c'est ma pote," "c'est mon pote," or they will also say "mon gars," depending on the context. So here the problem is simple. Algorithms give us scale, but they often miss a nuance. A literal French translation can break a joke or change a relationship. So how do we relate or balance both? The objectives of this work will be to examine the role of algorithms in translation for games and film, and also to examine the role of human imaginaries in adapting stories. And also, number 3, we will propose a hybrid model for Nigerian electronic storytelling. I have 3 groups. First, look at what AI does well, then what humans do well, and then how to combine them. Because in the conceptual framework, we'll look at algorithms, which is code, data, automation, and then how repetition and scales are handled. Then imaginaries, human creativity, culture, emotion, how meaning is handled. And then there will be the intersection, that is a hybrid storytelling. So algorithms, imaginaries, they will now empty into intersection. We think of algorithms as the engine and imaginaries as the driver. You need both to reach the destination. Algorithms in storytelling. What algorithms do well? In speed, yes, because they can translate 1,000 words in hours, not weeks. The scale, English to French from multiple countries at once. They can translate into the different, varieties of French in Canada, in Paris, in Senegal, in Ivory Coast. They can just give that within a few hours. And then there is consistency. Same terms used across a whole game. It could be the same terms. Also, even though there's consistency, they could take terms and they can also mix up terms. Example, AI localizes a mobile game from French to English to French for Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and Benin simultaneously. This is the big win. Without AI, a small Nigerian studio could never afford to translate into French for all of Francophone Africa. So what do the human imaginaries do well? in cultural context, they understand humor, they understand tone and relationships. In emotion, they adapt dialogue to feel natural. Then in the adaptation, they decide what to keep, what to change, or what to explain. You know, in translation, we know that when you are doing translation, it's like entering into a theater. That's why we have les différentes techniques de la traduction. We have the different techniques. So we have emprunt, we have calque, we have all the other ones like explicitation, modulation, and the rest. It's like entering into a theater. When you do a surgery, you remove what is not needed and put back what is needed, stitch it up. That level of stitching it up is where we have whatever is needed in translation. So, for example, if you are changing from let's go to, you immediately say on y va, but, or you say allez. This will depend on if the characters are friends or if they are soldiers. So, humans know that French in Abidjan is not the same as French in Paris. And humans decide what sounds real to our audience. That's the thing. So we have the comparative analysis. In terms of dimension, we have algorithmic translation and then human imagination. For speed in the area of dimension, you see, it's very fast in algorithmic translation and it's slower in human imagination. For scalability, in algorithmic translation, it is easily scalable to multiple languages, but limited in human imagination, it is limited by human hours. In the cultural context, it is, when it comes to algorithmic translation, it is weak with idioms and tones, but that of the human imagination is a bit strong because it has to do with emotions and all that. Then when it comes to cost, for the algorithmic translation, it is lower and it is after setup, it is low. And then for human, it is higher because you need a lot of hands, you need to get, a lot of things come into place, so it's higher in terms of cost. When it comes to creativity, for algorithmic translation, it is pattern-based. And then when it comes to human imagination, it is original and adaptive. So what we mean here is that the table I've just showed shows the trade-off. Algorithms win on speed and cost, humans win on culture and creativity. But at the end of the day, we know we need both. So there's a little case study here, translation in Nigerian games and film. Guess what? Nigerian mobile games in AI, English to French for Francophone African countries. We say adapt means level up. Pass au niveau supérieur for natural tone. But when the results, it is wider reach, it is natural languages. In case study 2, Nollywood on streaming at first pass French subtitles in 48 hours. For human, for example, you say, he's my guy. Automatically, the thing that comes to the mind is someone put, because it is something that is personally to you, to capture friendship. And then the result is fast distribution, and the meaning is spread, it is preserved. The distribution, it goes faster because meaning is added, and it is something that is closer to our understanding. So the key takeaway here is that algorithms make Nigerian stories travel, imaginaries make them connect. In Nigeria, we create in English. To reach Senegal, Cameroon, Benin, we need French. AI gives us speed. Nigerian translators give us the right French for our audience. The key finding here is in hybrid models. The hybrid models works best. Algorithm rules, translation, consistency, and then fast draft. For imaginary roles, you have editing, cultural adaptation, tone control. And then when you make the two, example, YouTube, auto captions in English, human editor adapts French subtitles for West African audience. These things we see on the screen, they are immediately done. At times, the content may not actually reflect the real meaning. So the best workflow is AI first, human second. Let the machine do 80% of the work, then let a human make it 100% right. Implications for developers: use AI for scale, hire editors for quality. For researchers, study how AI handles English-French in African context. For policy, invest in training for AI plus human translation trials. If you want Nigerian stories to go global, we need to fund both the tech and the people who make the tech work for us. In conclusion, I would say, algorithms provide reach and efficiency. Imaginaries provide meaning and cultural connection. The future of Nigerian electronic storytelling is hybrid. English and French together can carry our stories across Africa and beyond. To conclude, we do not have to choose between AI and humans. No, not at all. We don't need to make that choice. What we have to know is that the future is both. It is both AI and humans. That's how Nigerian stories will travel and still feel like ours. And I want to say thank you very much for your attention. I want to believe that this will help us explore more into the world of AI and human translation. Thank you very much.